Hi, welcome everybody. Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Eric Altman. I'm a sales engineer here at Vodia. And today we're also joined by Brian Smiley at Skytell. We'll be talking about some, hi Brian, we'll be talking about some exciting new opportunities for you to leverage the Vodia Skytell partnership to get a complete VoIP package for your customers, PBX and SIP trunking, which also includes business SMS, MMS. And by the way, I see a lot of you have started on the chat saying your greetings and all that. So if you have any questions as we're going along, everybody's muted. So just type the questions into the chat and we'll either answer them as we go along or when we're done, we'll go ahead and go back to the chat and answer any questions that you might have. Now on our agenda today, we'll be talking about why it makes sense to use Skytell with Vodia. Skytell SIP trunks and many services are already built into the PBX. Faxing outbound and inbound, hosting multiple domains on a single instance with Vodia's multi-tenant license and the Skytell multi-tenant billing platform, the ability to set up global trunks and to do text messaging, both internal and external. We'll talk about how you can use your existing IP phones as well as a mix of existing and new IP phones and configure buttons on those phones. And we'll touch on the Vodia apps as well. So why Skytell makes sense. Vodia and Skytell are coming to the market together to offer the key components in a VoIP package, offering a granular hosted PBX with a solid voice platform. Skytell's making it easier than ever to set up and deploy SIP trunks on the Vodia platform. There are opportunities for new features to be developed, combining our technologies, including the ability to do business SMS, MMS, and our companies are aligned in our bring your own device approach. So all that combined with a robust Vodia feature set, it's a win-win for everybody. The choice for Skytell SIP trunks is already built into the Vodia PBX. All you need to do is just choose Skytell from the dropdown, fill in the domain name, the account field, and the DIDs, and you're good to go. You can also set the Skytell SIP trunks to be global trunks that are used in multiple tenants on the PBX, making it so that there is no need to create multiple Skytell connections. Skytell has T38 support, so faxing from the PBX can now be done in addition to receiving faxes. Sending faxes is done from the desktop app or the browser-based user portal. Click on your profile picture, choose fax, and then choose the file or drag the file to be faxed into the portal. You put in the fax number and click send. Simple as that. Faxes received will go into your email as an attached PDF, so nothing's changed there. But being able to send faxes now is huge for companies that are still relying on faxes, such as financial companies or mortgage brokers, etc. Skytell again provides a multi-tenant billing platform that can be used together with the Vodia PBX. The domain billing name here is used when configuring the Skytell SIP trunk template. So your tenants on the PBX will line up with the tenants on the Skytell billing platform. As I mentioned earlier, the Skytell SIP trunks can be global, used in some or all of the tenants on the PBX. This means you only need one connection for inbound and outbound. The dial plan as well can be global and shared with all tenants. DIDs can be assigned to particular tenants on this one global SIP trunk. No need for multiple SIP trunks per tenant, and this does support inter-domain or inter-tenant dialing. Now with Skytell, SMS, MMS support is built in. That can be globalized for all tenants with settings done individually on each domain. Users can both send and receive SMS and MMS. And this is all done from the user portal or any of the apps. And Vodia is multi-tenant, so it only needs one public IP address to operate in the cloud. There's no need for a secondary IP. For billing, the Skytell multi-tenant billing is already integrated with the Vodia PBX. As far as requirements, it's recommended to have 2 CPUs per multi-tenant deployment, and you only need about 8 to 16 gigs of RAM. The Vodia multi-tenant does have automatic recording enabled, so if you're planning to make use of that and space is a factor, we recommend to have at least 100 to 200 gigs of hard drive space on a solid state drive, on an SSD. This will be installed on Linux or Windows. Service providers have a choice on the Linux side of Debian, CentOS, FreeBSD, or Raspberry Pi, or with Windows Server 2016 or 2019. Vodia True Multi-Tenant technology lets you create multiple domains or tenants on a single instance. Vodia is the leading brand for service providers looking for an economical platform that provides granular features. The global dial plan makes it easy to map least cost routing across all domains. No need to build multiple SIP trunks for every customer. Even though each tenant or domain in a multi-tenant system is segregated from the other tenants, things like dial plan and Skytell SIP trunking can be shared resources across multiple or all domains. And Vodia's API can be used in tandem with your company's website. When customers sign up for your services, they can create their own company domain and use API commands to even build extensions and other accounts like ring groups or hunt groups or auto attendant IVRs, for example. Vodia APIs are a great way to build and automate your telecom services. And as far as branding or white labeling, Vodia hosted multi-tenant comes with branding enabled for the managed service provider who'd like to advertise their brand and services to their customers on the admin screen, the user portal, and phones. Vodia apps are easy to pair with the phone system. In fact, the mobile apps can be provisioned by just scanning a QR code. The Windows app can be downloaded and installed right from the Microsoft Store. And the browser user portal is accessed by simply typing in the URL. The apps can be used for making and receiving calls, hold, transfer, conference, and many other functionalities. Currently, we support our iOS, Android, and desktop app for Windows, Linux, or Mac. When making a call out, the app user can send the caller ID of their particular department. And a couple other things that can be done is chat and SMS, MMS from the mobile apps, Windows app, or browser-based user portal. And you can, again, send faxes from the Windows app or the browser user portal. As far as phones, Vodia allows you to use your existing IP phones or others, and we do have RPS support. As a managed service provider, keeping track of your phone inventory and their location is critical, as some phones need to be swapped around or reprogrammed. Vodia RPS management helps there, allowing you to do mass button deployments and firmware upgrades, drop shipping pre-configured phones, and it's a secure way to provision phones for the PBX. And Vodia has pre-built templates for the buttons, so this can be programmed per model before you even deploy the phones. Expansion keys can also be programmed and visible in the Vodia admin GUI. Button types that are supported include multi-line button support, BLF for various account types, park orbits, group pickup, service flags, logging agents in and out, and speed dial, as well as others. Users can program these right from the phone as well. And if you have a support inquiry, you can send your request to support@vodia.com, or even better, open up a ticket. That will be done at vodia.zamad.com. I'm sure most of you or all of you are familiar with our documentation, searchable online documentation, doc.vodia.com. Most of your answers or questions will be answered on that documentation page. If not, or if you need help with just getting on board, sales@vodia.com is something you want to remember, and feel free to contact sales at any time for any of those reasons. And that's what I got here for you on the Vodia side. I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to Brian to pick up from here. Brian?
Well, thanks, Eric. It's a pleasure, and it's always nice to talk about the relationship with Vodia because it's just going so well, and it's a great relationship. We hope you see how easy it is to work with Vodia in combination with Skytell. You know, this Vodia has a choose your SIP trunk provider. And as you see, we're a preferred SIP trunk provider. And likewise, we exist for resellers and give you the option, our resellers, to choose their own and bring their own PBX. So it's when you want the best in class in both, you make the Vodia and Skytell combination. So I'm going to walk through just a little bit of what makes it a great combination and makes it easy for you. I'm giving you a peek here at our new website. This is a mock-up of it, and you're getting a first view of what will be live here at or around the end of the month. So we're very proud of this new site, and I'll give you a quick tour of the homepage. In this, we again are a certified carrier. We have our own, and we own and operate our own network with our own operating carrier number, 6222 Juliet, that's deployed nationwide. Likewise, we have a service provider ID on the Number Portability Administration Center, or NPAC as you may know it, for handling porting, and something that we do particularly well. So I'm going to show you that user interface and a little bit about that in this presentation. I'll switch to some, I'll give you death by PowerPoint, right? PowerPoint slides at the end. But for now, let me give you a quick tour of this side. So we highlight our great user interface, simple and very intuitive. I call to your attention to the top right there. The very first thing we're very proud of, no upfront costs, minimums, or commitments. And we're so much more than just a carrier for SIP trunking. And I hope you see some of the features that have helped us thrive. And likewise, in our product section here, I can just run through quickly, but we are certainly not going to cover a lot of those, all those products today, and hope that after this presentation, you have whatever questions, and we can contact you after this. And please feel free, if you no longer want to be contacted, just let us know. We're not going to chase you down, but here to help you with some of those details after the fact. But covering some of the product things about how easy it is to get phone numbers, what type of phone numbers, fax numbers, toll-free numbers, and so on and so forth. Our carrier backbone for origination, where we are deployed in rate centers throughout the United States for origination on our own network. Likewise, we use off-network providers like all the major carriers to complement where we may not have coverage for ubiquitous coverage nationwide. We do have a variety of options in faxing as well, where somebody might want a standalone product for an HTTPS solution that meets all the requirements of HIPAA. We can talk about that offline as well as messaging services, call recording, call transcription, and things like that. So, as I say, and lots of other good stuff, CNAM, 911, and so on and so forth. So in the meantime, I'll continue on our little tour of our upcoming new released website. And we are, again, the carrier, and we are very proud to have 100% uptime. I always knock on wood on that. And since our inception, we've had a major upgrade in our network in 2016. And then yet again in 2021, the industry experienced many DDoS attacks that affected many carriers. We never wish to advertise, use us instead of them. Shame on them. You never wish that on your enemies, the attacks. But it is important how you've architected, and we're very proud of that uptime and reliability. Basically speaking, with IP authentication, you can have and set in your Vodia PBX to have multiple failovers to independent IP addresses to our data centers, and they all operate independently firewalls, and they you can create the failovers yourself, so you'll never be without service. And those data centers, any one can power our entire network, but they are all independent and available for failover routing and such. So we are hyper redundant, as we say, in data centers throughout North America. And yes, that is up in Canada as well. For our friends north of the border, we do quite a bit of business in Canada. And so the data centers are located in Oregon, California, Virginia, Quebec, for example. And again, any one could run our entire network. But it is that user interface that we highlight, and that ease of use for what you consider provisioning, ordering new numbers, porting numbers, and then adding accessory type of or add-ons with those numbers, whether it's caller ID, CNAM, 911 services, and so forth. The user interfaces that you're seeing here, one is just PBX monitoring to see for online and jitter and such, and then the other is just the main portal. So I'll show you another view of that, and we'll go through some of the pages on that in my Death by PowerPoint that's soon coming. A highlighted feature as a carrier that I think makes us very unique, call it the golden egg, the purple cow, but that unique feature that we offer is billing that includes, billing is free for our resellers, and it's an adaptive white label is what we call service that you can customize in conjunction with a service through Stripe, that is the merchandising account, that they handle the money, so to speak. You can use our billing platform to produce invoices. And those invoices to your customers look like they're coming from you. You can invoice things that are not sold by Skytell. And if you want, create in a billing profile, those things that would create, for example, what you're paying or the service that you're getting for the Vodia side of that, you can incorporate that into this invoicing as well. So we use a tax compliant service called Compliance Solution Incorporated, or CSI. And you may choose, like any service, these are all a la carte services available to you. And those invoices you can have prepared with the tax consultation, tax included on those. So that's the adaptive white label service. We, again, are a multi-tenant platform, as Eric was speaking to, and you can bring and choose what combinations of PBXs and so on and forth, and manage all your customers easily from our one site. A little more on the billing. The billing features that I was referring to are free. So these are not charged for services as long as you are a reseller with Skytell. We are focused on our customers with emphasis on support, and our customers reflect that great support that we provide them with Network Promoter Scores, or NPS scores, that we're very proud of maintaining in the 90s for all of the last calendar year. And again, this is a mock-up, so please notice that this is a work in progress for some of the language in here is to be filled in, and you'll see that live when we bring this up at the end of the month. But no stupid contracts is a little bit of our cheeky way of saying that we earn your business every day, or we don't, and it's that simple. Help in minutes, US-based everything, no corporate overlords, are just some of our, we like to make doing business with us easy, and we're available for you and focused on, again, the resellers as our targeted customer base, such that you go out and service the end customers, bring them to us in aggregate, if you will, and you maintain that relationship. And that's critically important. We're not competing against you. So I'm going to break from this, pull up my other slide, if you will. Let me make that shift and to my other screen here. And you recognize that home page. I'll just pick it up from that familiar site. And speak to the portal itself. So these are some screenshots from. And first I start with this portal. You're going to have, or you may have multiple users that have different credential levels of what they can control or manipulate in this provisioning portal. Again, this is the Skytell portal that you'll log into to order your numbers, port numbers, and set up your trunk groups and such. So on the Skytell portal, I just go to the very first thing below the dashboards here is just users. And you can, again, have a master user and then assign maybe more administrative users and so on and so forth in this screen. So moving to the next one. This is the dashboard itself, and it is organized by and very graphically oriented, starting from the dashboard, that first thing that you log into. And so you can get a quick view status, and that's the idea, is that there's a nice mix of details with graphical representations so that you can get a status of what's happening and then dig down. Like anything, any good user interface, it will strike you as being very straightforward and simple, yet you can find very advanced capabilities as you dig into it. What I'd like to point all new customers to is, and we'll touch on this at the end, but at the bottom there you see knowledge base and support. So it's easy to find support. As I said, you get a response in minutes, and the knowledge base a lot of times will steer you to that. That relationship that we have with our customers is truly a relationship that our customers are part of the community, and many of our customers have contributed to that knowledge base. And because we exist for resellers and we're very reseller centric, or call it VoIP service providers, that community that comes before you in Skytell has helped us build to the features that are most important and have contributed. And we like to reward them, often giving Skytell credits at times for people who have contributed to that knowledge base. If you find something too, welcome to the community and thank you for your contributions. And we may just do the same in appreciation when you have found something that's a feature that you're looking for, or something that requires or could use greater detail and explanation. So that knowledge base is very current. We're very proud of that, and very dynamic, such that we welcome that kind of input. So the next one is, at any time you can always see when you make connections, we'll call that an endpoint. So to us, an instance of the Vodia PBX would be an example of an endpoint. And the endpoint, then you can see how it's connecting to this. So in this case, this is IP authentication and representing the connection to the 4 primary data centers. And I don't have specifically, there are some that are showing offline here in the red dots. And that is just very, unless the case here, a lower example here, if you can read it, says free PBX. Somebody has that, and it's not connected.
Hey, Brian, I do have a question. So the
Sure.
endpoint, so the customer only needs to create one endpoint to the PBX.
That's right.
And then from that endpoint, they can globalize that and then assign tenants with the numbers based on that endpoint, which is the phone system. Okay.
Exactly right. And you bring up the, as we say, multi-tenant. So you can create your endpoints in your trunk groups and then make the association to those tenants. So, and then sort things and look at all of our screens. You can sort down so your views are by that tenant. But you're exactly right. There's that relationship to the PBX, which is how is it showing and what's it connected to? What's the status of that connected to? Anyone who has been with us for a while can look at the screen and go, hey, Brian, you didn't pull this as a very current screen. It is actually just a mock-up. You'll notice for input from a customer that we had said, hey, I'm colorblind. I can't see what the dots are. So we put arrows there that specifically point to uptime or downtime, or showing up or in the status. So we appreciate that, and I think the person was amazed that it was certainly within the same day that kind of that agility to make a change like that in our system. So The next slide is just a graphical representation, again, of one of these endpoints. So you can look at it, and at the top, you can see if the traffic that's flowing on that is meeting some of the, we have very ample, tolerances for non-standard traffic, if you will, if I can call it that, if it's called low duration or zero duration, and you can measure that in the system and look at the current status of that per the endpoint and see if something is out of a range. As example down here, you can go down into and find where the offending traffic might be coming from. You can see what the average termination rates are and so on and so forth in this slide. So that's one example, but just brick and mortar, very common every day. You want to look at your list of numbers. This again is a mock-up, so somebody might even be able to pick up some things that are that show that this is just a representation of our system. But you can easily see graphically what capabilities are provisioned to the particular number. Again, at the very top, I draw your attention up to the tenant drop down here, and you can sort your long list of numbers, easily see them by each specific tenant that you're working with. Some people call tenant sub-accounts. Just think of that as your customer that you are billing. A tenant is an independent billing entity. And you can have lots of endpoints that point to the same tenant, and that's the beauty of the system. It's infinite mix and match of how you want to handle things. I will say one thing that differentiates us, Skytell in particular, from other SIP trunk providers, is that you can do a lot of capabilities down to an individual user level, individual number level. Such things as setting, you may have a tenant, a billing entity, which might be the reseller, your end customers. That end customer might have the CEO that wants to have international dialing, or we call it a high cost dialing capabilities enabled. Well, enabling that, you may want to have the securities on that, the spam protection. You may want to have the international channel limitation. And while we don't limit our customers by channels, you have the availability of our network as a customer. You, however, the reseller, can choose to limit the channels of, let's say, that international capability that you've enabled for one user on that tenant level. And you can do these controls, controlling their spend in a month's time, controlling the number of channels they have to prevent them from getting fraud attacks. So we've had virtually no fraud complaints with that since we've had that system up. So moving on, the next slide is just to simply say our transparency. We love that we can give you access to your terms of condition. I think that's the next slide, up at the top here, I've circled that, and going back, and to your rates at any time you can look at. Now, these are just our retail rates. Our resellers, when we welcome them in, we like to give them the Vodia preferred pricing right off the bat. And from there, we work with you. There are no commitments and no hooks there. We just simply work with you to find the right price points that are logical and to help you grow your business. And we're happy to know what we can earn in that business. If we've given you a price point and we haven't earned that, then something is, we've taken on upon ourselves to, why haven't we earned your business? But we don't believe in sign here and quid pro quo. Now you owe us your firstborn to get, what you need to be successful. So we call it relationship pricing. We ask that we have that dialogue and discussion with you so we can logically set and competitively set your pricing for you. So that's right there under the billing section. If you see on the left-hand column in this navigation menu, billing, and then the drop down for billing, you can find rates and fees right there at the very top. Likewise, sorry, let me go back to this one. As I pointed out down the bottom left in the navigation column, the knowledge base, you can access our knowledge base. And this is really at the heart of what makes us great. We like to say our customers are awesome, and that's our awesomeness is encapsulated in the knowledge base. And if you can't find it there, then great, we're ready to help you on the support. But a lot of times we'll just point you to where it is. You can easily select, for example, how do I connect to us? And there it is, their Skytell IP addressing and such. And this page goes on. And we can look at some shots if you like, but that's at the heart of Skytell is the knowledge base. So we excel where it counts, and we are very proud of our green promise that we are a carbon neutral operating company, and that's part of our DNA as well. We hope to welcome you to the community. Hope you feel like part of something here, and we're very proud in the pandemic era to be the largest growing carrier in North America, and that's because of great customers and relationships in this community, the Vodia community. So if you need to get a hold of me, this is my contact information, and we'll get you connected with folks to help you in your getting started with us, and hope you find it very a lot of things for the self-help, that you find something that's very straightforward and works easily and well with the Vodia platform. So Eric, thank you.
It's a lot of good information there. So I've been looking at the chat. It looks like all the questions that were asked over there have been answered. But if you have any more, we'll give it another minute. Feel free to type in any other questions you might have for Brian or for myself, for Vodia or Skytell, and then we'll wrap this up.
And Eric, do we open up the audio for people to ask questions, or are we
I don't know how to do that, so we're still gonna have to type in over here.
All right.
I mean, I do see one kind of ongoing question here, and it looks like Hamlet just answered that. Someone was just wondering about syncing. If I send a SMS from the mobile app, is that going to show that it was sent on my desktop app, that type of thing? And the answer is yes. So that was
it'll show across all platforms: iOS, Android, and Windows, and the web browser as well, as you can log in as a user.
Yes. All right.
So guys, if you have any questions, doubts, inspiration, put it all in the chat.
In the chat, or if it comes to you afterwards, you can always contact us. Sales at Vodia is a great place to start. Sales@vodia.com with any questions. We typically can answer those or get you to the right person if need be.
So Ari, are we always using the latest Vodia build? Yes. The build that we deploy, or the release ones, is 68. We will be releasing 69 with some updates on the portal and apps. But if you would like to test any beta versions, you're more welcome to email us. We will give you the URL link so you can update and check on your sandbox. So we always have a fresh baked version every day. We're constantly changing, constantly listening to our customers' needs and features that they would like to add, etc. And for Chris, I think Vodia Pricing, I think Eric can answer that, or they can send an email at sales@vodia.com. Is that right?
Yeah, that would be the best thing. Just send us an email, sales@vodia.com. I'll see that. But yes, it is based on the number of user extensions. So when you say extensions, I mean, you're not charged for auto attendance or groups or ACD or any of that. It's just based on your user extensions. And I can get you all that information, email you the pricing sheet and all that. So just give us a quick shout at sales@vodia.com. Happy to answer that.
Jim, best method for upgrading Vodia with Linux distro. With Vodia, I mean, you can update your Linux distribution all day and every day. For us, it's just a link that we give you. You paste it, press upgrade, restart the service. That's it. Nothing else.
Real quick,
Oleg, Brian, when your network 2.0 starts, you would like to know?
Yeah. Okay. It's integrated now, and you can see when you go on to you have a classic plus the 2.0, and people are using the 2.0 at some point over the horizon. Will segue out of that, but not leaving anybody hanging on that. And it uses, it is simply more coverage than what we currently have today. So it's not a totally different network. So
awesome. Awesome. And we will be updating our PBX with the new 2.0. Currently, everything is working, but we always like to always run the latest on what Skytell is running. And guys, I think this is a great solution. I've seen so many customers come to Vodia using Skytell trunks. I mean, literally, it would take 20 minutes to set up, and you're ready to go. Inbound, outbound DIDs. It's just incredible working with Skytell, and I think you guys should give it a chance, and then grow your revenue. This is all easy. It's not rocket science anymore. Vodia has great support. Skytell has great support, and we want you to win. That is the whole theme of this webinar. We want you to win with Vodia and Skytell, and we want to help you grow.
And to
So
add
if
on
you guys
to that,
have any more, sorry.
just real quick, to add on to that, that's why we're honing in on the multi-tenants and the multi-billing. We really feel that's the best way you are going to succeed, having it all on one instance, being able to configure everything on the PBX, upgrade it for all your customers at the same time, all of that. But in answer to Jared's questions, yes, we still do have a CPE or customer premises equipment version. If you prefer that, or if your customer does not want to be multi-tenant in the cloud, you can put this on a server as a single tenant. So that is still available. That hasn't gone away. But again, we feel you're going to be more profitable and more successful using the multi-tenant and having all your customers on just that one instance.
Absolutely. And just to answer Jared's question, yeah, you can install Vodia anywhere. And I know some deployments do require to be on the premises. For example, hospitals, you need at least, they're going to ask you, hey, we want a failover, which we will happily give you a license for that. For the failover, we don't charge for that. So premise, cloud, we support it. It all works. But we've done many deployments. I just did a deployment for a school yesterday using Skyetel trunks. I mean, this thing is just overflowing, and we want you to be a part of that. Thomas, is high ability option? Yes, there is. We do have an option for failover. The way it works, obviously, we run a script that you need to paste on the PBX, and the secondary server will keep on pinging the primary server. Obviously, you need an rsync type of mechanism so that whatever is on the primary isn't on the secondary. And of course, many phones support failover. So that means you can register your first identity, and your second identity can be your secondary server if your primary server goes down. I mean, sky's the limit how you want to deploy this, and we'll be more happy to help you do that. Yes, Paul. Yeah, that's what I mentioned. The phone supports failover. Yes, automatically. For some phones, I would say Snom phones do it wonderfully. Yealink as well. Not sure about Fanville, HTech, and the other guys. I know Polycom has something for failover. It's all possible. It's all in the script. It's not a big problem for us, so we can provision that.
I'm glad Paul introduced the Teams integration too. Skytell had looked, for example, at offering a Teams solution and decided, and it's part of our philosophy of not competing with our competition. And in this case, why build something that I think would be competitive to Vodia's offering? And Vodia is well built into those video conferencing applications and direct trunking therein. So that combination, we try not to overlap each other, and we really do just complement very well, those services to overlap. And that, is a very, powerful and next generation kind of thing. But Skytell, behind that, there is blockchain technologies, things that we do have to have built into in the next generation. So we're built for today and also well prepared for those things that are yet to come on those technology. And it's our customers, the good resellers that lead us to that tell us what's fruitful, what's good things to time. Yeah, there's plenty of things on our dev board, and I can talk about that. But you can't do everything tomorrow, and you have to be prioritizing those things on the highest things. But I really think that's a very good strength, the Teams integration that Vodia offers.
And just to
Absolutely.
answer,
And for the teams, if you guys are wondering how it works, obviously everything has to be done in teams. But on the Vodia, all you need to do is create that teams trunk, which is already a template on the Vodia PBX. Set your extension as a teams member, and make sure that your tenant, if it's a multi-tenant or a single tenant, that tenant has a resolvable IP or a FQDN. Most importantly, that we create a TLS connection and a certificate where Let's Encrypt. That's all you need on the Vodia PBX to set up teams. Obviously, in the team size, there's a little bit tinkering here and there, policies that you have to set up. And hopefully, they will make it much more intuitive and much easier. But we have many teams deployment and a video that you guys can watch on our YouTube page. And I encourage you guys to go to YouTube, type in Vodia. We have a lot of information in there. There's also Skytell tutorials on how to set things up, SMS, SIP trunking. We have blogs and everything for you guys, as well as the Teams integration. So I encourage you guys to try that out. It works great with Skytell, in and outbound, DIDs, the works. So if you guys have any more questions, we're going to wrap this up soon. I think, Vlad has questions.
No, we do not sell the international DIDs from Skytell, just domestic. We are North American and North American extended territories.
Thank you, Dave, for the link. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and pricing, I like to say pricing is what you need it to be. And if someone's asking for irrational type of pricing, we need to have a lot of details to understand why we would do something like that. And then relationship pricing is part of keeping contact in that relationship to make sure that, the expectations are there. Again, we don't do obligations or commitments and written signed things, but we want to know what we have a chance to earn, and we'll communicate if the pricing has to be that aggressive. We certainly need to track it and make sure that we're earning it, and if not, why, and get to the problem. But that's what we call relationship pricing, and we are the carrier. We control a lot of our costs ourselves. So I test me on that one. So happy to help you. Kenyon is on this as well, and Kenyon referred Jim to me, but Kenyon's going to be there helping customers and customer relationship manager, and is at the heart of Skytell. We often say there's a Canyon for that, meaning that he is Johnny on the spot. Customers are really helpful, or appreciate how helpful and knowledgeable he is. And hey, when we don't know the question too, we'll be keen to drive you to support and show off how good the support is at getting you the details on things like that. But
and Brian, there's a question that Thomas asked: is North America considered local? Canada to US pricing is the same as Canada to Canada?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, guys. Any more questions before we clock out and have some yummy lunch? Favorite dinosaurs.
Okay.
It's a good question. Oleg has a good question there. Tyrannosaurus.
I think there's a joke in the making here. I don't know how to answer that, but how long does it take to port numbers to you? I've really, in 22 years in this business, been real hesitant to talk about and brag about porting. But boy, I'm in a company that ports really, really well, and our average porting is just days, and it's quite consistent. But a port can take any number of paths, and you can always count on the rejecting carrier to play their games and such. But we do have control at the NPAC level as a service provider, and sometimes people with SPIDs on the NPAC had control is the term. Because it's taken away from them for poor conduct, if you will. So, but we're very proud of how well we port, and we are happy to show you how what that is and work to your delivery dates. We have white glove porting that allows you to do on-demand type of activation. So you can ask for a certain date to hit, and then on that date, wait to activate it till you've contacted our porting department and say, please release it now. And someone will do that live with you. And that's very popular and no extra cost. And please feel free to talk about, porting projects and stuff with us. We're happy to look at it and consider waiving the porting costs to make it easy for you. Olivia asked if we have prepared marketing tools. Vodia, I think you do.
Yes,
Nice
we have battle cards and everything we can share with you guys. Yeah,
and that's something I'm taking inspiration on and want to replicate ourselves. So look for that shortly from Skytell. Our adaptive white label. We do want to make our services available through. We have a tenant portal that you can extend our services out. For example, fax. If you want our HTTPS fax solution and you want to give them a portal to do that tenant portal is available for you. And we'll have, so that's a user interface that's extensible.
Awesome. Hey, Paul and Jared, reach out to Brian and then to Vodia. I will personally give you an onboarding tutorial. We call it speed training. And I will show you everything you need to know or anything you need to replicate from your current PBX to the Vodia phone system. Yes, Jared, I would reach out to sales@vodia.com or Brian so we can set up a Google meeting. And a speed training is usually half hour. What I usually do my trainings, just write some questions on your concerns, what you want to do. Because let me tell you, running a phone system and for so long, your customers have habits and they want things this way or that way. We want the hours at 9 to 5, but we want to add this. I'll show you everything you need to know, and we can go from there. It's gonna be great, guys. I'm really excited for this. Let's get going. Let's do this.
All right. On that note, I think we'll close out here. But again, thank you, everybody. Brian, Hamlet, the whole crowd out there. I appreciate it. And feel free to contact us for any other questions or to get started, with this great solution. So appreciate everybody's time today. Have a great day.
Take care, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Be safe.